Welcome back to another episode of Aunt and Andrew, with Family's Everything.
Until it is not. Hi, Andrew.
Hi.
I
How are
wanted to
you,
tell you, I
Aunt?
want to start with everybody. This is I gotta fix it a little bit. This is the necklace I got from Jennifer Aiden's brother, and she wears it in a bunch of scenes. Can you see it?
Yeah, it's an evil eye.
Yeah, it's an evil eye. It was $50. And Jennifer wears it a lot. This is a silver version, but I noticed Jennifer has it in gold. I just
Oh,
want you to know that it is her brother Michael who brought back the mail order bride from Turkey.
yes. Well, I will
Yes.
tell you this.
What?
Um, I like when I see the housewives do things that remind me of like real life, like Dolores when she told her daughter to stop saying Frank.
Yes, because your sister does that.
Yeah, but my parents don't tell her. But if I ever started calling my parents by their first names, they would be weird.
Yeah, I think so
Um,
too. It's funny because I want to talk about first the Gorgas, who are not my favorite people.
Well, I first want to
However,
say about the Gorgas is that they must, Melissa and Antonia with the laundry scene, that must have been such a bad scene that they only included about 12 seconds talking about fabric softener and then moved on.
yeah,
That's all I'm
because
going to say.
they filmed an hour.
That's all
Yeah,
I'm going to say.
totally. I am going to say that I was sympathetic to their dropping their daughter off at
Oh, I
school.
wrote that. I
Yeah,
said,
because did your mom cry when you got dropped off at
no,
school?
no.
She didn't?
I
Oh,
said it was sad dropping Antonia off. I do want to know, did Melissa do the room with the other mom or did they pay someone to and then just showed it being done? Because it was way too the
yeah, I
phone
think
put
they
up.
had it come, typical Gorgas. They had somebody come in. They never, I'm going to tell you, when my daughter moved into college, my husband went through 3 t-shirts that day because it was blazing hot, and he had taken extra t-shirts and had to keep on changing because he was
I thought you were
sweating
gonna
so
say it was
much.
because he was so upset, but then I was gonna be like,
No,
wait,
no, no, because he
he was
was
like 30 minutes away from your house. I don't know
yeah,
how
she
upset you
was
could really
40
be.
minutes away, and I still cried like a baby when I left. And not only did I cry, this is why we had sympathy for the Gorgas. Not only did I cry like a baby, but I left the school on Thursday, like at 6 o'clock or so. They had a little barbecue for the parents. And you gotta cry, everybody's crying, leaving your child behind. And I didn't talk until Sunday morning to anybody at all.
That's
I
so not dramatic at all.
Thursday, I went home and cried. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Finally, Sunday, your grandmother called and said, let's go up to the beach. And I went to the beach Sunday, but all Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, I didn't talk. I want to be left alone. I miss my baby.
Oh
And
god.
so I got it with the Gorgas, but they're always overkill. And you want to know who else is overkill?
Marge.
Marge.
Oh,
Oh, her and
I was
Jan.
happy that Joe and Marge talked about grief. It's always good when you talk about that stuff. It's real. But how desperate is Jan's death gonna be the her storyline all season long? Because that's just
This
I
is
can't.
the same man she left Joe for. I
No, no.
mean,
She left Joe and her left Jan. Like
no,
she
but
left. No, no. The guy that she's talking about.
Jan is her
She left
ex-husband.
Jan for Joe. Not
Yes,
she left Joe for Jan.
no, she left. This is the man she's crying about that she left. Oh, Joe for. Yeah, she left Joe. She left Jan for Joe.
Yes.
Right. Okay. And poor Joe has to sit there and go, oh, I hate to see you upset. I mean, because they both left their spouses for each other. They were
Totally.
both married at the time, and she's going on and on. Now, would Marge be as sympathetic if Joe was crying about his ex-wife
No.
dying? No. She'd be like, what do you mean, Joe? You never liked her,
No, no, no.
Joe.
She'd be
Joe, da, da.
sympathetic, but she
No,
wouldn't be
she
like
wouldn't
Joe is.
be.
I'm
No, she
starting to feel
wouldn't.
I like Joe Bonino. I actually like the guys on New Jersey. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
the
that they
guys
get
are all
involved too
decent
much,
guys.
but they're
No,
good
no.
guys. They
Yeah,
support
except
their
for one.
wives.
Except for one.
Joe Gorga?
No. No, I
Oh,
actually, no, Joe Gorga's been replaced at the bottom of the barrel for me.
John Fuda.
Fuda. Oh,
He
Fuda.
hasn't done enough. He's just like emerging. But I
Oh,
will say,
yeah, but no, I
how
can't
about
stand
Rachel Fuda
Fuda.
said that she's been leaning on Marge all week for support?
Oh, I know. Like, she's always been there for her. I mean, March was just too much for me in the death of her. And she's one of these people that keeps she must have a little book somewhere where she writes
Oh,
down
writes
who
everything
called
down. A
her that
burn
day.
book. a
Yeah,
burn
yeah,
book.
yeah. Well, I've got this on this. I've got this on this. I got this on this. I didn't care. Ren. That's my new name for Jen and Rachel. Ren.
I
I
thought it
didn't
was
care. They
whatever.
went to breakfast. I could care less about them. I do like Jen Fessler. Rachel,
I
sorry.
like listen, we like Rachel because she's coming in and she's stirring the pot. She's speaking up. She's becoming relevant.
Totally.
And
Um,
I will tell you this. She's 32.
oh
32.
yeah, she's 32. She's got
She's
she's
32. They're positioning her as the future of this show, I think.
a little bit. I
And
agree.
I have a
And he's so thirsty. They're so thirsty.
I have a thought. We're
And
hearing about Christian working for Louis. We're hearing about
oh,
engagements. Maybe they're positioning Gia Giudice to go up against Rachel Fuda for the future of New Jersey.
well, I did write down that they do have a future Real Housewife of New Jersey cast in the making with
Danielle is young too.
Antonia.
No, Antonia's not. Don't even go there. Come on. Are you serious?
With
Are you
listen,
serious?
Antonia, Gia, Gabriella, though I
No,
don't think she's
Gabriella's
housewife.
not going to, and neither is Antonia. Stop saying that stupidity.
You want to know who else has a future as a housewife? It's going to take a while, but Olivia Aiden does have a future.
Oh, for sure. And Melania, but and maybe Dolores' son could marry Brielle Bierman and move her up.
Oh no. Frankie's too good for that.
But I
No.
do have to ask you, bitch,
Yeah.
lady dogs, biscuit, my bitch. I wanted her to go, bitch boy. Is this a bitch for the bitch boy?
Olivia's biscuit is my bitch. I wrote that down. She
And the
is
lesbian
my
dogs.
bitch.
And the
Oh
lesbian
my
dogs.
God.
The lesbian dogs humping each other, the two girls.
I mean, you can't control Olivia. I mean, I don't even really think we've seen the other daughter. His name's Gabby.
Oh no, Olivia is the one. She's modern day Melania.
Yeah.
And I will say that all I thought the whole time, I wanted to go to Jennifer's with Belle.
Oh,
wanted to
and
be
you
there.
wanted to get a bitch biscuit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Belle.
how they had to tell the son not to eat
Christian
them because
works
they
for
were for the
Louis.
dogs. Yeah, not Louis Vuitton. He's handsome though. I do like Louis. Now, why do you think they're positioning Gia in there? Just as a foil, as something what?
I think I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it could just be that she wants to get paid more.
Okay, and I'm gonna say this: like a lot of people were complaining that Gia shouldn't be on TV, but you know what? Carolyn Manzo had her daughter with her all the time too.
Yeah, but I think there's a difference there too, though.
Lauren
Caroline's daughter,
Manzo.
Lauren was brought in when there were situations. She came to a reunion when there was the whole lap band thing and all that. Gia has been more present. I found it very interesting. And I also will say, I don't want to give a lot of points to the Gorgas this season.
Right.
But I will say that I do respect Melissa and Joe because of their son's age, telling him to say hi to and give Teresa a hello.
Well, okay.
Because he's not an adult yet. And I think Gia has the right to pick and choose. She's had issues with her uncle. They've been through a lot. The Gorgas the Gorga children have not been through what the Giudice children have been through.
Correct.
Regarding setting boundaries and all that. And I actually give the Gorgas credit for not jumping on a bandwagon or thinking it would be okay to be like, oh, you guys don't have to talk to your aunt and your cousins ever again. And I just think that that was good. And I also think that it was good of Melissa and Joe for not pushing to be like, oh, Gia didn't say hi to us, but my son did. Like they just let it be. And I think that's good. That's all.
Okay. Well, let me tell you, I'm glad we both brought up, I have notes on that because one, Joey, was it Joey or Gino? I forget which one is which that Melissa said, go hug your aunt.
Joey.
Okay. Joey. All right. Joey is a child. He's 15 years old. Okay. Gia is 23, 24 years old.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Gia has actually had words with her uncle as an adult about her father, Juicy Joe.
Yeah, of course.
And he's ripped her father apart on
100%.
social media, on the show for years. Gia, as an adult woman now, over 21, graduated college, she has the right as an adult now to say, I do not want a relationship with you. She even told them as they were sitting around the table, no, that ship sailed with my uncle. Don't go there.
Yeah, of course. But I didn't
over.
like that from Gia either, though, because Jen Fessler was right. a lot of this stems from
From the
that.
hostility between your
And I don't
mother
think
and
Jen
her
Fessler
brother.
was looking to like reignite that conversation. I think it's a fact. Your family had issues on the show for years. You guys are choosing to not have conversation now, and it seems to be working well. The difference is that like Gia, I don't know. I just don't think Gia should have shut it down as quickly. But also, if we're going to talk about that little lunch, how about the hairdresser who's the plant?
Oh, it's so bad. You know what? If it's obvious that Jennifer Aiden is like, ooh, what could we get on Danielle this season? Because she blew it last season. So we have to make sure that we give it to her this
Oh yeah.
season. And that's okay. And Jen's the perfect person to do it too.
I loved that the producers had such a dramatic
I never
edit job.
finished.
What?
I never finished about the Gorgas. Like,
Okay.
I do believe that the Gorgas were right, but I also think they're very aware of the cameras, and saying, "Go say hi to your aunt," was a little bit of a manipulation, because they know Gia is not going to say,
I think
hello.
Teresa would have called it out.
What do you mean?
I think Teresa would have been like, he never says hi to me. Why is he doing it for the cameras now? Like, I think Teresa would have sniffed it out. Like, I think she's too seasoned on TV. I have a feeling that it's legit. I also have to say, has he seen his aunt?
No, he hasn't.
So it might be something where like,
Doesn't look like there was a lot of love lost between them, though. I mean, he wasn't hugging Gia really. Gia was very friendly to Joey. She didn't have a problem. Gia
okay,
went right over and she
I don't
hugged
have
her
no.
cousin.
They hugged, but friendly? Come on.
Well, she
Not
was
having a problem
smiling.
with her cousin and being friendly are completely different things.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, let's get into the real drama in the locker
Well,
room.
I do like the edit job that they did with the dog when they were like when she said, "Is Joe Bonino bringing Marge?" Or the
Yeah,
and then they had the music and then they showed the dog near the window.
and not only that, that joke just had no legs. It just
Oh
dropped
no.
like a mic right there. It was dead on arrival. It
And
was a
everyone could
terrible
have read
joke.
Teresa like a book, but when she started talking, she's like, I wonder if her husband, and we're all like, oh yeah, what dog is Joe bringing? Marge the
Yeah,
bitch
Marge, the
or their
bitch.
real dog?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what though? I think this a lot about Teresa. Everybody thinks she's dumb, she's stupid. You know what? She is the master housewife.
No, yes, she's learned on
She's
television.
not dumb. She is very aware of how she's coming across, what
Oh,
she's saying. Nobody should ever call Teresa Giudice dumb or uneducated or anything else, because she is very aware of what she's putting out there as a housewife. Now, let's talk about Marge and the book.
a couple things first. I want to
Okay.
know what happened with Danielle and her family and her brother.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Something
you know what,
happened.
though? To me, if you don't get along with everyone, it's not their fault. It's your fault. So, like, if you talk to somebody and they say, "Oh, I broke up with my wife. I don't talk to my sisters. My kids
Mm,
don't like me. I have no friends. I'm
yep.
I'm kicked out of the pickleball league because I want them to follow the rules or whatever it is." Usually, you are the problem, not them.
Okay.
And that is what I think. Now, we found out with Danielle that she doesn't
Mm.
talk to her brother. She doesn't talk to her
She doesn't talk to her
father.
father though because of her
She has
brother. Like it
problems
all
with
is connected.
housewives. She's always had an issue. So I think Danielle could be the problem. And it does
I
say a
agree.
lot about Danielle that she doesn't have a good relationship with the family in her life.
100%.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Marge and Jackie.
Well, before we got there, I have to say this. I want to mention it. Why didn't Teresa and Louis have a dramatic tear-filled goodbye with Gabriella? Oh, that's right. Because they don't need their storyline this season to be dropping their kid off at college.
Right. And it's also not her first one.
Okay, that's
I
fair.
would
That's fair.
say it's a little bit more dramatic, the first
That's
one.
fair. That's
You
fair.
know what I
And then the
mean?
last thing I'm going to say so everyone knows, Dolores, congratulations. You raised a shit ton of money for cancer.
Yeah,
That is a big deal for a
yeah,
fundraiser. People
I
don't
agree.
realize how many people don't make that kind of money on a fundraiser.
Yes, but didn't she start that fundraiser because of her old surgeon boyfriend?
No, I don't think
Yeah,
so.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
that's why.
yeah.
Yeah, that's why she started it. So I wonder if he goes because, for a long time he was living with Frank.
Okay.
I wonder, I don't remember his name. David. It just came to me.
David, duh.
David, Dr. David. Yeah. I wonder whatever happened to Dr. David. He probably dumped Dolores and got married like within 3 days to somebody else. That's usually
What do
how
you
that
mean?
goes.
Frank was living with them at the end of the reunion
No,
last
I
year. They
know
were
that
still
Frank
living
was, but Frank's
together.
with Brittany now. And that was interesting. Christian came to the baseball game too, I noticed.
Okay, but
She
he's
is
been
BF.
around a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Well, obviously they're trying to integrate that storyline. That's why I wonder
And
where they're
Gertie,
going.
her friend Gertie, is one of the Real Housewives of Miami that has
Oh,
breast
is
cancer.
she? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I don't watch that show.
Are
Okay,
there any
so
before we get into the locker room, because we'll finish with that? Are there any photos, or maybe photos of
Buddhas.
Rachel Fuda sick with arthritis? Because I'd like to see some photos of her sick.
No, I just can't get over her. I don't like to talk about the housewives' looks, but she does without a doubt have the worst nose job.
Horsey face, as Joe Judice would say. Horsey.
She just has the worst nose job. I wish somebody could fix it. She needs to go on Botched and see what Dr. Paul could do for her.
Okay, so let's dive right in.
I hate to talk about them because I'm no,
Why is it so important? Okay, I have two questions. First, why is it so important to Marge to get a copy of The Weight of Beautiful? Just need to know. Second, though, why didn't Jackie give her an advance copy?
because she didn't even give her mother one.
But she gave one to Melissa?
Maybe she's actually friends with Melissa or was friends with Melissa.
But she was closest with Margaret. They've said that.
Oh, I always thought she was closest with Melissa.
Marge.
I don't know. She gave one to Jen Fessler.
Yeah.
I can see that though, because
I also love Jen Fessler.
I do too, but I think she would give it to Jen Fessler because I think Jen Fessler has struggled with her weight.
Maybe. And
Because
maybe
she talked
Marge.
about all her peptides and
Oh, maybe
everything.
that's what it is. Maybe what you're saying is that Marge had to use surgeries and Ozempic and all that to lose her weight. She never had a problem with not eating.
Right. But Jen also lost her weight with Ozempic. She talks about it. Jen Fessler talks
But she
about
also was not someone who was
but
like
she didn't say
overeating.
Ozempic. She said she was taking peptides,
Yeah.
which is what Ozempic is. It's a peptide.
Do you think this is the it with Marge and Jackie regarding the fight, or do you think
I
there's
think
more?
this is the beginning of it.
The tip of the iceberg?
Yeah, this is the beginning of it. This is when she said to her, I've always had your back, or I've always whatever. What did she say to her?
Yeah, but this is the thing that, like, this is what
I
blows
wrote
my
it
mind
down. I
about
gotta look at it.
housewives. When
Okay.
they make statements like Marge did, you're the most self-centered person I've ever met. It's like, well, then why the fuck were you my friend for so long?
Well,
There's a
because they're
difference
on the
between
show.
you're being so selfish right now versus you're one of the most self-centered people I've ever met. That is like long term. Like, why? Like, I judge you, Margaret. If you have the ability to call Jackie one of the most self-centered people you've ever met, and we're only seeing the beginning of your little dispute with her, what is it going to be like towards the end? And this is why I get annoyed with Margaret, is because I think she's phony. I think she's a phony baloney.
Well, she is phony. I think she was phony about Jan dying, and I think she's phony. I think she's looking. I told you, wherever she is, she's got to scurry about and know what the story is. And I thought it was really funny that she was going around the baseball field going, "She's talking about me. She's talking about me. That's not right. That's not right. She's talking about me." That's all you do, Marge, is scurry around and talk about people. Marge might be having a bad year.
I
They
think
might.
it's the beginning.
Yeah, I do. I think
I
it's the
think it's the
beginning of
beginning
Takedown
of
of
a
Marge.
nice pause.
Oh.
Pause.
Oh, you think she's gonna get
She's
the
going down
Dorit?
that rabbit hole. She's going down the Rinna rabbit hole.
No, the Dorinda medley.
Not as drunk. Not as, she doesn't drink. She's not
Yeah,
as
right.
drunk and messy. Rinna is more like
Oh, no. She's very, I would say she's the Jill Zarin
Jill
of,
Zarin of New Jersey.
yeah, she's the Jill Zarin of New
She's got a bunch
Jersey.
of brands too. Jill just
Yeah,
doesn't have the lawsuits.
and she's, and she's gonna find herself overplaying her hand a little bit
I think they've had the same amount of husbands though.
too.
And they have widows.
Oh yeah, and she
They really are
talks about
twins.
He talks about Bobby. Bobby died, Jan. And I loved how she goes, Jackie was good. Like she came to the Shivets and the funeral and stuff, but I didn't hear from her afterwards. Well, how much are you supposed to do for people? Let me know. I mean, if you have a friend's ex-husband dies and you pay your
When you know they're
respects
happily married with their
to
current
somebody
husband.
else, how much sympathy are you supposed to get?
And also, your whole storyline coming on the show is that you banged the plumber or the contractor, your husband.
Yeah.
So it's like you came on the show announcing how you were cheating on your husband with your now husband. And then because your storylines start to run out because you talk so much shit and people start to hate you and you don't have much
Yeah,
going on because
and
you're
she has all these
boring.
back little voices that she
Yeah, I mean, like, and it's like, Marge, you're interesting. Marge, you're funny. You're messy. Just be yourself.
yeah.
Stop
Who
like
did
pushing these things.
who did she call? She called Louis' ex-wife, right, Marge?
We don't know.
Well, that's what they say. She called Louis' ex-wife to get the dirt on him.
Call
I'm
Bo
sure there's
Dietl and ask
others.
him. Bo Dietl knows the
He
answer.
would know. I think we're just starting to see the pot is stirring and Jackie is steering it.
I
Or
liked
is it
Joe Gorga's
stirring?
joke. I have people follow Antonia like Louis.
Yeah,
He thought that
he
was funny
did.
too. You know,
He
when you
did.
think your own joke is really funny, it happens to me sometimes.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
he had
yeah.
that moment.
I know. I say I cracked myself up.
He did in that moment. He'd been waiting to use that one.
I know. So
Or he hadn't been waiting to use it. And that's why it was so funny for him, was that when he said it, he made himself really laugh. Like
he
he
did
had not he
make
said it out
himself
loud.
laugh. I was
It was
surprised that
Joe, it wasn't as funny as you thought it was. But
it
I
was
can see
funny.
why in the moment you thought it was funny.
It was funny. I thought that the baseball game went off well, considering all the different people who were there.
Yeah, I want to know how they made an additional 75 grand in like 3 hours. They went for 125, and I want to know which one of her friends brought $75,000.
She said they had a lot of checks arrive.
Okay.
Maybe it was David.
I'm kidding. I'm sure that they take up collections at the game. They probably have a
Yeah, if
silent
they did
auction
a
at the game.
50-50, stuff
50
like
50
that.
is not going to make that kind of money, but maybe a silent auction. Maybe people bring in checks, more donations. You think about it, 4,000 people. If 25% of them bring an additional $20, that's
You made that
$20,000 right
money.
there.
Yeah, right. Or something like that.
So who's your mess?
This episode, Jan, I was gonna say Jan, but he's dead. We can't say he's a mess. I thought the mess was Marge.
Okay.
Yeah, because she's getting messy. She's getting messy.
I'm going to introduce a new one. My Swifter for the day who cleans up the mess,
Yeah.
Jackie. I thought I'd give her good job, Jackie. You came at Margaret. You yelled at her in the locker room.
Oh,
You
I
had
thought
some of
that was
those
good.
lips.
Yeah.
You had some of that plumper removed from your lips. You look a little normal now. You look more like a duckling instead of a big duck. So it's perfect. You're doing great, Jackie. I can't wait to see the progression.
I can't wait to see where Melissa falls into this. Because I could see initially her wondering, does she go Marge or does she go with Jackie? And we know Jackie goes Team Teresa. So we're leaving
Melissa
Melissa
obviously goes with
behind.
Marge because of the
Obviously.
fact.
But I
But I
want to
bet
see
Melissa
how we get there.
probably
That
just
I am
because Jackie
interested.
becomes friendly with Teresa.
Teresa. That's all she needs. Yeah. Yeah, but Jennifer is stepping in to the Melissa pond, but I know she doesn't stay there because they had that epic fight.
Which one?
Jennifer Aiden and Joe and the Gorgas had an epic fight in the lobby in Las Vegas during BravoCon.
That was the year before last.
No. That happened in November and they filmed this last year. So this happened afterwards.
I don't agree with you.
Yeah, I do. It was at this year's BravoCon, which was 6 months ago. And this show had already filmed because they're filming this last summer. Yes. She threw a drink at him and then he started yelling and screaming at her in the lobby. And there's videos.
Watch Joe Gorga scream at Jennifer Aiden before BravoCon, October 17th, 2022.
Oh.
It was in New York City when they had it.
Oh, okay. I'm wrong. Okay. So, well, that's why she doesn't want to be around him now. That makes sense. This is the filming. That makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense why. Okay, that's good. All right, you clarified that. I was wrong. I can admit when I'm wrong. All right, everybody
I'm gonna
follow
cut
us
that
on.
out and I'm gonna make it my ringtone. I was wrong. I can admit that I was wrong. I was wrong. I admit I was wrong. James
Listen,
Kennedy, spin that up. I wanted to have a
yeah,
remix
I
called I
was
Was
wrong. I
Wrong by
was wrong.
RHONJ.
I was wrong. I was wrong. I was wrong. I was
Love you
wrong.
guys. Subscribe, like, comment, follow on social media.
Leave us comments.
Instagram.
We love your comments. We love to get lost in the comments section.
Always lost in a maze.
Follow us on Instagram.
Love you.